Thanks for staying with us. So, since the implementation of the President Muhammadu Buhari's order on Nigeria's land border closure, the nation's micro and macro economy has never been the same. 15 months down the line, with the country currently going through its worst economic recession in 40 years. The land borders are about to be opened for business activities. What are your thoughts on this? Joining us on the show is an economist, Tajuddin Akonde, is the managing partner at PKF Nigeria. Good morning, sir. Are you there?
Good morning.
Good to have you on the show, sir.
It's a pleasure.
Yes, so let's start with this issue of the possible border opening, because many investors have complained that Nigeria's ping-pong policy has totally dissuaded many from coming into the Nigerian economy. So in your view, last year, August 2019, we closed the borders. Now we're about to open the borders. In your view, do you think the reasons why we closed the border have been achieved, or do you think we are at the point where we can actually now easily open the land borders? Hello, sir. Are you there?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
If you recall, the federal government announced border closure, I think, first about August 2019, and there were reasons which were adduced for the action. First among these was the issue of smuggling across the border, especially food items that Nigeria, is producing and not producing enough to meet local demand. And so you find that in an attempt, the gap created between the local production and the demand was being filled by goods, food items that were brought across the border illegally. Apart from that, there is also the issue of smuggling from Nigeria across to the neighboring West African countries, especially petroleum products. And we know the journey we have traveled regarding the pricing of petrol. The price of petrol in Nigeria, being a oil-producing nation, is even at current price and exchange rate translates to about 40 cents. And in those neighboring countries, the reports are that it's anything above $1. So for marketers, even though they are being compelled under the price control regime to sell at certain prices, the federal government was actually picking the bill for the price differential in terms of subsidy. Mm-hmm. And the huge amount that we were incurring on subsidy. Mm-hmm. Having collected subsidy, you now find a situation that rather than sell to Nigerians at the 145, 150, 160, which is about 40 cents, it's moved across the border to be sold at $1 or above $1, thereby maximizing profit at the expense of Nigeria. When Nigeria went into difficulty in 2016, 2017, one of the policy response from government was to introduce some control in terms of FX allocation and restriction on importation. The experience was that many of these items were finding their way into the country through those borders. Now, the concern for many was this was announced shortly after Nigeria signed the Africa Continental Free Trade Cooperation Agreement. And so there was that concern that the intention of economic integration in Africa is being, sabotaged by the biggest nation, the largest economy in Africa. But the magnitude of the amount of revenue that the nation was losing from collection of import duties, because the statistics that were in the open there did not actually reflect the reality. In terms of economic the statistics, you have it reported that the trade between Nigeria and Benin Republic, for instance, is about 5% of export and 2%. But we know that all over West Africa, the informal sector accounts for over 50% of GDP.
All right.
And about 70% of the economy of Benin Republic. For Nigeria, when government took this action, one of the justifications also was that our trade, in terms of our foreign trade, only about 16% of our trade is with West Africa. The large portion of that trade is with Europe and Asia. So ordinarily, you will say there's no impact. Now, why will we be considering reopening the border now? Have we achieved the objective? Have we been able to secure the border more than we were? The production of items like rice, are we able to meet local production? I doubt whether that has happened. But one of the consequences of the closure was the increase in the general price level of these staple foods. And it means it is the ordinary Nigerians that were suffering. During those periods, there were no contingency or palliative to pushing the effect of the stoppage, the gap.
Okay, let me get a few more questions in for you.
We are not really ready to fill that gap in terms of demand and local production. So I guess the government, as we move toward the festivities, may be trying to react to the issue of high prices and the effect on Nigerians.
All right.
So yes, prices are high everywhere for food commodities in Nigeria. But one of the benefits of border closure is that businesses picked up. I also went into rice last year because of the border closure. So a lot of businesses picked up. A lot of people are doing well in their areas of businesses. And now that we are trying to reopen the border, we are not taking care of the main reason why most of these farmers, their prices went up, which is, of course, insecurity. We just lost 43 rice farmers yesterday. They've been having difficulties accessing their farms, even taking their products to millers and all of that. What is the federal government doing about that insecurity? And how important is that to, in the scheme of things?
Of course, we cannot discount security. I mean, everybody needs a secure environment to be able to operate. Not just the farmers, the consumers, the household. Security is essential. And one of the duties of government is to secure the lives and properties of the citizens. How do you work, with your mind at rest or efficiently when every minute you're looking over your shoulder, whether you're going to be attacked, whether your farm is going to be invaded, whether the armed bandits will raise your village in the night? So security is key, security is essential, and we cannot, say it louder, or we cannot overemphasize the need for government to address the issue of insecurity.
Okay.
Whether we close the border from now till forever, we must have a secure border from the secure.
All right.
We cannot close the border forever.
All right.
Because there must be freedom of movement of goods.
Right.
ECOWAS came in 1975.
Let me go on a quick break, sir. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.